Welcome to the S-Man Storybox podcast and stories telling. Dive into captivating stories filled with life lessons, love, friendship, family dynamics, and emotional twists that resonate deeply. From scandalous dramas to spiritual wisdom, we deliver insights to inspire, heal, and transform. Here's what we offer: heartfelt tales and life lessons, stories that inspire and transform wisdom, true stories, twists of life and love, emotional journeys that move the soul. Whether you're looking for motivation, life advice, or just a great story, this is your storytelling haven. Subscribe now and join the S-Man Storybox family, because every story we tell could be the one that changes your life. Let's keep learning, growing, and sharing, one story at a time.
Yeah, and it ties back to that idea of community that we talked about earlier.
It does.
You're not alone on this journey.
You're not.
We're all in this together.
We are.
And speaking of being in this together,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that call to action at the end of the episode plan,
Yeah.
where they encourage listeners to formulate their own personal health goals.
Oh, I love that.
What do you think about that?
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, okay, you've learned about all these colors of health.
Mm-hmm.
You got practical tips. You've got expert insights.
Yeah.
Now it's time to figure out what health means to you
It is.
and set goals that are in line
Yeah.
with your own values and aspirations.
I love that it's about taking ownership
It is.
of your health journey.
Yeah.
And making it your own.
Exactly, because health isn't
It's not one size fits all.
one size fits all. Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you and creating a lifestyle that supports your well-being.
It is, yeah, and it's a journey.
It is.
That's not a destination.
It's not. And there will be ups and downs.
Oh, for sure.
Setbacks, triumphs. But the key is to keep learning, keep growing, keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
It's not about perfection.
No.
It's about progress.
It is.
And sometimes those, quote, failures
Right.
are actually our greatest teachers.
They are.
Yeah, they help us refine our approach and figure out what really works.
They do.
It's fascinating how we've gone from, like, the specifics of this episode plan
Yeah.
to, like, these broader topics
Oh,
of, mindset and resilience.
That's true.
It's like the episode plan itself is a springboard for deeper reflection.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. It's not just about the information. It's
I
about
know.
the way it makes you think about your own life, your
Yeah.
own choices.
It's true.
And I think that's the mark of truly great content.
Yeah.
It sparks something within us.
It does.
And inspires us to take action.
Yeah. And speaking of taking action,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they approach the topic of mental health in more detail,
Okay.
because they mentioned it as a pillar. But I'd love to hear more about, like, how to cultivate a positive mindset,
Mm-hmm.
manage stress.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's one thing to, like, understand the importance of mental health,
Right.
but it's another to actually know how to nurture it.
Yes.
And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with,
For sure.
especially in today's world where we're just constantly bombarded with information and
Mm.
stimulation.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's hard to find the time and space to just, like, be present,
It is.
connect with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really interested to hear
Me too.
how they address this.
Yeah.
Because, we all know stress is bad for us,
Right.
but what can we actually do about it?
Exactly.
Like, what are some practical tools
Right.
and strategies that we can use
Mhm.
to manage stress and cultivate a more positive mindset?
I think that's a question a lot of people are asking.
I think so too.
Yeah. And hopefully this episode provides some answers.
Yeah, it's like they've covered so much ground.
They have.
Yeah.
Nutrition, exercise, sleep hygiene, social support. But this piece,
Right.
the mental and emotional well-being,
It feels like the missing link.
it feels like the foundation.
It
of
is
this
the
food.
foundation upon which all those other pillars rest.
Yeah.
Because you can have the healthiest diet, exercise every day,
Mhm.
but if you're constantly stressed and anxious,
Right.
it's going to undermine your well-being.
Totally.
Oh, well, yeah,
It's all interconnected.
it is.
And it brings me back to what you said before about how this episode plan makes us think about our own lives
Yes,
and choices,
it does.
It's not just about taking in the information. It's about, like,
applying it.
applying it. Yeah,
That's where the magic happens.
It is.
When we take what we've learned and turn it into action,
totally.
that's when we see real transformation.
I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground.
And I'm excited to see where this deep dive takes us next.
after a quick break.
Taking care of your health starts with small choices that make a big difference. Drink water, move your body, and choose vibrant, nutritious foods. Your body is your best investment, and it deserves the best care. Take a moment today to check in with your wellness, whether it's a brisk walk, a hearty meal, or a quiet moment of relaxation. Good health is a journey, not a destination. Make every step count. Start today because you matter. This Good Health podcast is brought to you by S-Man Storybox, where we bring you heartfelt tales and life lesson stories that inspire and transform, wisdom through stories, twists of life and love, emotional journeys that move the soul, health, entertainment, and more.
So we're back. As we wrap up this deep dive, I think one thing that really stands out to me is how this episode plan encourages us to, think differently about health.
Yeah.
And I think a great example of that is the way they talk about preventive care.
Oh, interesting.
They don't just say, go to the doctor.
All right.
They talk about getting those regular checkups, screenings, vaccinations.
The things we all know we should do, but often put off.
We do.
Yeah.
It's like shifting from a reactive approach to a proactive one.
It is.
And you're so right. It goes back to that Thomas Fuller quote.
It does.
Health is not valued till sickness comes.
Yeah.
And this episode is all about, valuing it before we get to that point.
It is.
And it's not just about physical prevention either.
Right.
They have a whole section on mental health and stress management techniques.
I love that.
Meditation, journaling, even therapy. It's like they're acknowledging that taking care of your mind is just as important
It is.
as taking care of your body.
I think what's so important here is recognizing that they're not separate.
No,
Mental and physical health,
Yeah.
they influence each other.
they do.
Chronic stress can lead to all sorts of physical ailments.
Right.
And, if you're neglecting your mental health, it can make it that much harder to make those healthy choices
It's true.
in other areas of your life.
It's like if you're feeling overwhelmed and just exhausted,
Yeah.
it's hard to find the motivation to even cook a healthy meal or go for a run,
It is. You're not wrong. And I think that's why they include those stress management techniques.
Yeah.
It's about giving listeners tools to actually cope with those inevitable challenges and
Yeah.
build resilience.
And I'm so curious to hear what this guest expert has to say about all this.
That too.
Imagine getting advice from a top therapist on how to manage anxiety.
Yeah.
Or, learn about the latest research on mindfulness
It'd be amazing.
from a leading expert.
It'd be like having a personal guide
It would.
through this often very confusing world of mental health.
Yeah, we all need a little guidance sometimes.
We do.
Right.
And speaking of guidance,
Yeah.
the episode plan also emphasizes that community and social support,
Right.
encouraging listeners to share their goals using the Health Unlocked hashtag,
Oh, that's right.
which I think is such a great idea.
It is. It's a way to connect with others who are on that same journey.
Absolutely.
Share successes, share struggles,
Yeah, offer encouragement.
offer support, accountability.
Yeah, because sometimes just knowing you're not alone
Yeah.
can make all the difference.
It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Right.
If you want to go far, go together.
I love that.
So true.
It's not just about individual effort. It's
Right.
about community and connection.
And that's a great message to leave our listeners with.
It is.
So this Health Unlocked episode plan is so much more than just an outline. It's a starting point for a deeper conversation about what it really means to live a healthy and fulfilling life.
And I think it's about shifting our perspective,
Yeah.
from viewing health as this destination
Yeah.
to embracing it as this journey that's unique to each individual.
It is.
And that's what makes it so compelling.
It does.
It's not about following a set of rules.
Yep.
It's about discovering what works for you.
Yes, and I think that brings me to my final thought I want to leave you with.
Okay.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of good health, I want to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What's one small change you're inspired to make today based on everything we've talked about? It could be as simple as drinking an extra glass of water, taking a short walk, or even just spending a few minutes practicing mindfulness.
It all adds up.
What's that one tiny step you can take today
Right now.
to start building a healthier, more vibrant you? Think about it, commit to it, and remember, even the smallest steps can lead to huge transformations over time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
Hit subscribe and turn on those notifications because there's so much more to share, and I want you right here with me for every lesson and twist along the way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And most of all, thank you for being part of the S-Man Storybox family. Let's keep learning, growing, and sharing one story at a time. See you in the next video.